Hey guys, welcome back to another Bustos Gear Lab gear review. I wanted to feature a product I got for Christmas, or ordered with gift cards at Christmas, more appropriately. It's called the Sequins, or Sequins. You can see right here, it's like got the laser graphic in the wood. So basically, I've seen a lot of solutions online for the Korg Volcas. Most of them seem to go, one on top of each other in a stack method. I came across this one on Reverb.com, and I loved the layout of side by side. So I had two already, and I wanted to get the Volca mix, and then I had an empty slot, which I had the Korg, the little guy over here. It is the NTDS1, but it had to have one more, so I got one more vocal to fill it. I got the Volca Bass a few days ago, actually. So a very simple setup. If you can see this in the angle, couldn't be any easier. Came with an aluminum tube in the back, two aluminum trays, and two wood end pieces to hold together. A couple of Allen screws and an Allen key. Couldn't be any easier. It was a piece of cake. I just love the layout of side by side, and along with the fact that it's just a very vintage vibe to it. I love that. It looks like something you would have had years ago. I love those end caps. I love that vintage vibe. I think that's great. And I love the simplicity of being able to reach across the face of it without having to go back and forth, which the stacks I've seen of them, I'm sure they're fine too, but I don't know, I like the way this is, the aesthetic of it and everything. So that being said, I think it's a great product. It was $99.99, which could seem a little overpriced for something as simple as this, but to not have to build one yourself is a great thing. I couldn't certainly make the extruded aluminum parts that hold the top and the back and everything shelf on there. I wouldn't be able to do it. As much as I like to think I'm a maker sometimes, I don't have that kind of time. So this is super well done. Plywood ends, a little bit of stain up here, kind of like a little birch look on the sides. But anyway, I couldn't imagine a better way to have your Volcas set up than this, So that being said, that's that part of the review done. I highly recommend this to anybody who has a few Volcas. Even if you had two or three, it's going to make you buy that last missing piece, which I did with this guy right here. So that being said, I'd like to do a quick little demonstration of the Volcas all together, now that I have them all together, and how you can chain them up and how you can do different things with them, and how I usually come up with patterns and wind up importing them into my DAW, my Logic on my Apple over here. There's different ways to do it, but basically I'm sending a mix out of the Volca mix into this, for right now, this SSL6 sitting over here. Normally I would patch it into my patch bay, but I'm kind of set up away a little bit so I can kind of work on this and some Eurorack stuff. So I'm just going to demonstrate. I haven't had any of these for very long except for the Volca Keys. This is very new. This was given to me on Christmas Day. That was my one musical gift on Christmas Day from my wife. She gave that to me. This was bought with either Amazon money or whatever money, gift card. And then I wound up getting this to fill in the bunch. I wound up getting a bass, the Volca Bass, not because I need more bass sounds. I have a great analog bass, a couple different ways to do it. But I had read online that you can go several octaves up and you don't have to even be in the bass range. You can do any octave you want to blend in. So enough talking. I'm just going to try and demonstrate how I get into this. This thing is crazy. I haven't even tapped the surface of what it can do. The pattern I'm going to play you, I was able to tune that. Let me turn up the volume a little. So basically, Volca Drum is a digital percussion synth. The Volca Beats is an analog drum machine. I wanted a little bit more versatility. this thing, every single sound can be altered by all these parameters here. So I was just messing with this before I turned the camera on. This is completely tunable, way up into it's not a bass drum anymore, but I was playing with it before and I liked 28, so I'm gonna try and get back there, right there. So I just tuned that bass drum to 28 because it sounded like a note to me, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I just made a pattern, which I'm gonna play it right here. Very simple pattern using that crazy bass drum. I bought this Volca mix, and I'll give you my opinion right now. I bought it. I don't think it's extremely popular, but one of the main reasons I bought it is if you have several Volcas, it will power each one of them. So this is 3 power outlets right here that go into the DC in on the 3. And then you can send the master clock and set the tempo with this sync out. So it's sync out to sync in, and they all chain together. So they will all be in time, which is really, really cool. And I was a little disappointed to find out there was no MIDI in on this, but by putting MIDI in on this first one, as long as you have the sync outs connected, I can do MIDI in on here from either my sequencer over there or the Logic sequencer, and it will trigger excuse me, and everything will work in sync, which is great. So that was really cool. I haven't even cracked the manual on this. These things, there's like a compressor built in here. These knobs are filter sweeps, which are very cool. As a matter of fact, I just noticed this was over to the left. You can see that changed the sound already. This becomes a complete boomy bass. And that's a high cut sweep. So I'm gonna hit start on this, let this play, and then I'm gonna come over to the first one in the chain, the Volca Keys. I have it on mute. I am gonna just go like this, and I'm just gonna mess up all the settings because I had a preset pattern I wanted to play, but I wanted to show you just how. Okay, so that's all messed up. You go high. All these different things. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the play on this one. Actually, just to show you, I'm going to input a step. I'm gonna do one note. Say that one. So I'm going to hit record. See, both of these are armed for play. I'm going to hit record. It's going to start recording when I hit this play button. See, now with this mixer, I can mute these guys. And let's see what I just did. I don't even know. So I'm going to... Now we have a note. And it seems to come in on the first beat. So now I can show you. This is poly mode, which I can get 3 notes at a time if I want. This is unison, 1 at a time. This is octave, 1 octave above what you hit. This is a 5th. This is called unison ring, which is the unison mode with the ring modulator. And this is poly ring, which is polyphonic mode, which can be all play at the same time in that mode. I like the fifth, that sounds cool. So I'm going to focus on poly and just sculpt the sound real quick. Let's see what we can do here. Let me give it a little bit more release. Cool. Maybe detune it a little bit. It's very easy to come up sounds with these things. They're quite intuitive. There's also a delay. I like that detune. It adds a lot of chorus sound to it. Okay, so let's stick with that for a minute. I'm going to stop that. Or maybe too much portamento. Turn down that a little bit. And I'm going to raise the pitch a little. I'm going to go up 1 octave. You can turn down the attack if you want. Very brassy sounding. Give it a little bit more release. I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to hit play and then record. Well, actually, let me figure out what it would. So I want to try and play something in tune with that bass drum on here that I tuned to whatever that was, 28. So let's just see what I can do here. Oh, something's already happening. What is that? Being a dummy, you got to erase that. So if I want to erase what I did, which is already there, function, clear all, now it's gone. My bad, here we go. I'm going to try and find something that goes into that pitch a little bit. Like that, I'm going to record that. Actually, maybe I'll keep it close. I'm going to do that. Now it keeps looping. Ah, see, I messed that up. You have to remember, if you keep erase on, if you keep the record button on, it's going to keep doing what you're doing. So I am going to, I don't even know how I did this. I'm going to hit erase. Okay, so that didn't work. I have to do clear all. All right, so back to my note. All right, so that's not what I intended, but here we go. Going with it. can do chords, so I'm gonna go down an octave now. Okay, so you hear that now, we've got two things going. I'm now going to adjust the sound on this one. So I wasn't poly, meaning I can do chords. Now I went to unison, and it's kind of cool. They're chopping each other off. Not stepping on each other, but cutting off the sustain, which is pretty cool. Try octave now. Fifth. Unison ring. I can mute the drums to smooth the drums on the mixer, which is nice. I have new features for all three channels. Okay, these are cool, but they're all weird. That's poly, so we're getting some chords. Can cut, make it more stabby. Cut the attack down. Make it really squelchy. I'm gonna go back to unison. Kind of like that. Add some time delay. Put the drums back in by unmuting. Now, of course, with a mini mixer like this, you can bring this down and up. And these have these filter switches, knobs rather. So you can see, it took a few minutes, but we're there. I tuned that bass drum to whatever this 28 was on the parameters. I don't know what note that is, but I found a note in the keyboard to match up with it somewhat. Very cool. So now we'll move on to Volca Bass. That's poly. That's unison. Poly mode. I'm going to stick with that unison, bring the volume down a little bit. Cool, so now I'm going to step over to here. Let me hit stop for a minute. This is brand new. I think I've had it for a few days. I'm still finding my way around. What's interesting is keys on the touch membrane, they all have a touch membrane, there's no keys. This is laid out like a traditional piano keyboard, if you will. This is not. I don't know what the gold denotes. Maybe that's a white key and the black one here is a black key there, but I'm sure you can find, I'm sure in here somewhere is a, I don't know, I guess there's a, maybe a scale, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, so Volca Bass has 3 different oscillators, which is awesome, and 3 different modes. You can select each one individually so you can adjust the pitch. So technically what that means is you can get 3 different parts going. We can certainly do, I'm definitely in bass tone. So we have 3 different pitches. The different modes are, you can do another one here, you can do another one here. So that one sounds really, let's see, I'm gonna hit play for a second to find my notes. Okay, so I found a note. So just to show you how easy it is to record, I'll activate play, which it'll go, but there's nothing there. And then I'll hit record. Just for demonstration purposes for right now, this is a low bass note. It's important with these vocals, if you don't remember to turn off record on every one of them, these will remember it'll record your knob movements. This one actually doesn't do that, which I wish it did. But if you want to F around, now find other notes, you gotta turn this record off, otherwise it's gonna record them. So I'm just gonna hit play and listen to what I just did, one note, but that's not what I want to keep. I want to do a melody to that. So let me just hit play and find a sound. Volume off, slider off. That's my sound. Now you can put them out of pitch with each other a little bit. See, these are sticking because it's on hold still, but if you kill that, you'll stop it. So now I hit play. I learned that after a day or two. So this is so cool. This thing, even though it's not doing anything itself as a sound, I love the fact it powers these 3 items because these run on batteries, which is great. I haven't even had to replace these yet. and these are so new I haven't had to at all. And I know it looks like a mess like a Euro rack would be, but this also has internal speakers. Yeah, I know they sound like crap, but if you have nothing else and you're sitting around your bedroom or whatever, they sound good. It does the job, right? So not only the power, it's got the audio ins, and it just really ties it all together. I know it's not a module, and maybe you'd be better served having one more sound here, but I have so many other sounds. I got so many other modules of other synthesizers, analog and digital. You know what? It just makes sense for me because I can just, it all ties together right here. Otherwise, you'd have cables. I don't even have an adapter. I have so many adapters in this house. I have no adapters that power this up. They're smaller than normal. They're not, you know, they're not the normal like effects adapter. So, and I haven't even begun to play with these things. So in my world, this is worth it. May not be for other folk. You know, I'm a big anti-cork sniffer kind of guy, and the world and internet and reviews about synths and guitars and tone is just filled with cork sniffery. I'm so anti, I can't stand that. You know, people have their opinions and they're entitled to them, but this is mine. I think, you know, all this stuff is inexpensive as it is. You know, these are like in the low to mid $100 and something range, 150, 140, 100. I think I got this for like 115 or 120 on Reverb used. So anyway, back to it. I'm going to change whatever here. I'm going to go to a melody note for that. So I'm going to hit play and clear this pattern. Okay, the pattern's gone. I'm going to start playing with some pitches here.